Without a shadow of a doubt, Aquaman 2 is a complete and total disaster for Warner Brothers, just like virtually everyone knew it would be. But for some reason, a lot of people in the Access media, the Shill media, the same people that have been blaming fans for the failure of the Marvels for the past 6 weeks as the Marvels crash and burn, the worst performing movie in the history of the MCU. They decided to come out and make some comparisons today because they are not happy that these movies apparently aren't getting the same treatment, according to some. David Opie, don't really know anything about this guy, then he writes for a bunch of these different things. He writes about gay and geeky stuff. What a shock. Both critically and financially, Aquaman 2 is performing noticeably worse than the Marvels. They're both sequels to billion-dollar blockbusters, yet I don't see any hit pieces from the trades when it comes to the movie starring a man. The math ain't mathin'. Well, that's interesting. I'm going to get to that in just one fucking moment until we get to another retarded take. Brandon Davis, again, these fucking Access dudes who got so triggered, who had to run to the defense of the Marvels and Disney and the MCU, all this shit. Again, Aquaman 2 flopped, yet I don't see a parade in the streets like when the Marvels underperformed. Both were sequels to billion-dollar movies. What's the difference? They're trying to say, well, it's a different standard for women than it is for men. One, a lot of people have been shitting on Aquaman 2 for a long ass time. There's a bunch of other differences as well, like the fact that the past 7 movies in the DCEU have lost money at the box office. Like the fact they've already admitting they're rebooting this universe and this is the last movie and they barely market it at all. There's a lot of different things why this is very different than the Marvels. But let's not get it fucking twisted. People are shitting all over this movie. Right? Aquaman 2 box office projections set Jason Momoa up for another disaster. Aquaman 2 sinks with $40 million debut. Aquaman The Last Kingdom finds lump of coal. The trades are shitting all over this. They are calling it what it is, a fucking failure, a flop. You know what the biggest difference is? The biggest difference between these two movies, because fans have been talking about Aquaman 2 flopping for a long fucking time. The biggest difference is that retarded fucks like you aren't blaming toxic fans for the reason that Aquaman 2 is flopping. I wonder why that is. What's the difference? Is it because your fucking desire to white knight for any fucking buddy with a vagina? Or sorry, anyone that identifies as a person with a vagina. Is that it? Is that why? Because you don't see shit like this, right? When it comes to Aquaman 2, don't feed the trolls and don't blame the Marvels director Nia DaCosta for the film's box office. What about this one? The Marvels could be a box office flop, but it's not Nia DaCosta's fault. Stephen King was out there defending this movie saying, it's sad that so many people are making fun of it failing. And what did the media do from the very beginning? That's right. They attacked men over the failure for the Marvels time and time again. The Marvels creators say they mostly ignore sexist trolls, but the filmmakers couldn't resist one jab. Both of these movies are colossal failures. There's no denying that. Both of these movies are massive failures. Aquaman 2, The Marvels. Now, The Marvels has a bigger budget. The Marvels is in a universe that is still continuing to grow and grow and grow that they haven't announced a reboot for, even though the fact that they should. Everyone this entire time is expected. Following the series of DC failures, everyone from the mainstream to the fan base to everybody expected Aquaman 2 to fail. They knew it would fail. Even though we knew that for the Marvels, not everybody did. Some people actually had hope that that thing, if not made money, would at least hit, $500-600 million. No one expected a $200 million bomb, the lowest in the history of the MCU. But these people who have such a big desire for some reason to protect the Marvels, they just couldn't help themselves. There's a big difference in these movies, but at the end of the day, people are shitting all over Aquaman 2. The only difference is people like you aren't blaming toxic men for the reason why Aquaman 2 failed.